Hey there, aloha everybody. So as you know, the purpose of my YouTube channel is to help people to learn the basics and to understand all the things that are necessary to bring yourself up to a higher level so that you can achieve really big goals in life. And I know a lot of people think that a fashion model just walks the runway and stands there in really nice clothes and money just falls out of the sky. But the total opposite is true. It takes a tremendous amount of effort, and for me, it takes the spirit, mind, and body combination to get to a level that I've achieved so far in that aspect. So right now what you're seeing on my YouTube channel is a lot of spiritual stuff, a lot of tarot stuff, some of the things that I do in my spiritual practices, and also the goal itself that I'm using as a living example, which is the singing and the improvement of the singing. So right now what I wanted to do is just check in, because I had made public just a couple weeks ago 3 videos, which are a 3-part series about abstinence and sobriety and how to abstain from alcohol and or drugs and cannabis, and what the experience of doing that for myself had done for me. And when I was watching the videos, I was thinking to myself, you know, it's been a couple years since I did it myself. So I decided, okay, so this must mean that it's time for me to take another round of that. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do a 30-day challenge, a dry 30 days, if you will. Now, just to give you a little background, I don't really use cannabis very much anymore. And it had been several months, maybe 6 months since I used it at all. And then just maybe a couple weeks ago, I decided to give myself a little long weekend. And within like the first couple of minutes of using it again, I just right away realized, like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. So I really want this to be centered around alcohol. More so, but I want to be clear about the things that I have enjoyed and at times in my youth have been overpowering to me. Cannabis has been something that has been my blessing and my curse, and it's also been something that I've never really been able to control. So what I've done is just take really long periods off from it and then give myself like a little treat weekend. And that's kind of the way I've worked it. And during the time when I take an abstinence, that's when the real growth comes. So think of like someone who's training for a competition, and in a month or 2 prior to the contest, they do dietary things, they sing or they act or they practice their craft to the maximum and get ready for this contest. And so that's kind of the mentality I have right now. Well, I just want to share, today is day number 5. Excuse me. And yes, the cough is something that is part of this, so I'm glad I coughed a little. My body is purging all this stuff. And drinking wise, just to be clear, 3 or 4 beers every night, maybe a couple glasses of wine a couple nights a week, and hard liquor maybe once a month. I'll have like a little go out and have a few drinks. So I'm not a heavy drinker, but I'm a daily drinker. And for me to stop has been a little bit tough, I'm going to be honest. And day 5 is a day that I think is really significant, because for whatever reason I feel like that's the day when my system has totally gotten all of the toxins out of it, and now I'm dealing with life on life's terms, as it's put. And lots of ups and downs, lots of emotional ups and downs in the last couple days. Some feeling sorry for myself, some what's the point. Yesterday I was wanting to have a couple beers so bad that I couldn't stop thinking about it. So And I think obviously this is what happens when people abstain or get sober. These first couple of weeks are really difficult because in essence, the drug and alcohol has become a solution, or at least a temporary fix. And as we know, temporary is the key word there, very temporary. And it isn't a long-term solution. And in fact, it can create bigger problems the more and more and more and more you choose that as a solution, rather than handling whatever it is in life that is bringing you stress or any kind of negativity. And so I just wanted a couple beers so bad yesterday, and I was like, I can start this again, I can do it again, and I was like, no. And I got through last night, no problem, and not no problem, but without a lot of problem. And I woke up this morning and I felt like I had grown. Okay, and today I was so productive and I got a lot done, but I have thought about it a couple of times. And today's Sunday, so for me, Sunday fun day is a perfect day for that. I live on a tropical island, so everybody's at the beach, everybody's barbecuing, and I was inside today all day working on my machine. So, but I know how this works. I've done this so many times, and so the point of exposing myself is to communicate with people who may be having an issue and maybe thinking of doing a dry period of time, and to just let you know that it really works. It really helps. I'll speak for myself. It really helps me to get a lot of stuff done and to feel so much better, and especially my confidence rises. I start sleeping better. I really feel like it's a tool in my toolkit that I've used so many times. Now, one of the big things I'm preparing for at the end of the summer is that I'm going to go back to Asia, especially to start in China, for a series of modeling contracts. And I'm already in shape and I have a strong portfolio. So there's the physical side. But mentally and spiritually, China especially is a really tough place to live for a couple months. It's just a different world. It's nothing negative about them. It's just so much different from Western culture. The food is different. Everything is different. And the Chinese really work you to death on the jobs. So it's not an easy job at all. So I just want to be totally mentally prepared. And I also just want to challenge myself. So today's day 5. And it's not the end of the world. And some of the things that I've done to get to 5 days is taking baths. I took a few days off from work because I know I can be grouchy, and certainly there's another week left of that worry. I'm not going to take a week off from work, but I just knew that these couple of days right in here were really important, and I think that's been very helpful. Replacing the time. So there I'll be drinking and watching sports and maybe hanging out with the guys, maybe being at the beach and all that sort of stuff. So what am I going to do? So I made sure I had a couple new books. I got a lot of open pages in my journal, and I have some creative projects that I'm working on. So really just keeping my mind occupied, and then exercise. So taking some runs. I've been to the gym a couple times, and then I wanted to replace this in the evening. So I got some, carbonated, not soda, but water, like flavored water. And so I've been powering those things, and I turned off everything that's a trigger. So right now is basketball, NBA, for instance, playoff season. So I haven't watched any of that over the last 5 days. No news. Just really disconnecting from all of the things that could potentially be triggers until I get my footing. And so the check-in today is just to initiate the conversation and to tell people what I'm doing, and also to say that, first couple of days, it actually feels kind of good. And a lot of people have sworn off alcohol after a wild weekend, and so then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, getting into Thursday, they've been able to just stay away from it. But then like by Thursday, and then here comes the weekend again, it's right back in the saddle. So I didn't really want to say much in the first few days because it's sort of like shaky ground. But now I know I'm on the right path and I'm moving forward, and I wanted to share and let you know that it isn't easy, but it's totally worth it. So I'm going to keep sharing like once a week, just update a little bit. My goal is 30 days. I know myself, by the time I get to 30, I'll feel so good. I'll probably add 30, and then we'll see where it goes. But one day at a time. And I want to say something, last thing I want to say. One day at a time is the saying for all 12-step groups, one day at a time. But I feel like one day at a time is perfectly suited for people who have 6 months to a year or more of abstinence or sobriety. I think when you first start out, it's really more like 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time maybe. And you really have to just say, hey, can I make it through the next minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour? And once you step through it, and I'm going to check in on this. As soon as I have a day where I feel this, I'm going to get right back on here and I'm going to share that with you. There's going to be a day within maybe a few days, maximum a week, where I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to feel like I've been shot out of a cannon. So much energy, so much positivity, and I'm going to be like, okay, now I know why I did this. So if you're planning to do something like this, please know that it's worth it and you can do it. If you want to send me a message, you want to send me something in the comments, I'll give you all my tips and tricks, and I fully encourage you to seek out support from the community and the people around you. And again, it's worth it. So I'll keep you posted, guys. Have a great day. Aloha.